Hello and good evening, everyone. Hope you're having a good day and you are lots of positive thoughts as well. And welcome to our online patient meeting once again. I am your host, Caroline, and just please let me know, as always, if you can hear me. And Dr. Pavel, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear well. Yeah.
Perfect. It's good to have you here. And as you already know, we are gathering here every single day from Monday to Friday throughout the whole month, which is, of course, right now April, just because we want to make sure that you will have a chance to meet top experts in fertility, but also that you will be able to ask your questions and simply just wait until we are able to go back to a bit of normal, and so also you will be able to start your treatment. So today, again, this is another meeting. There's another topic to handle so that you can find out and get prepared for the treatment when it will be finally possible to go ahead with. And the Stronger Together initiative, all of that wouldn't be possible if it weren't for our ambassadors and partners. You can see them right here. Some of them you already had a chance to meet. Some of them will actually have some other webinars with us, online patient meetings. So of course you need to stay tuned to be updated, but thanks to them, Stronger Together initiative is also possible. And well, today we have another topic, as I've already mentioned. This time it's IVF with donor eggs and PGS diagnostics, success rates, cost versus outcome, and time frame. And with us, our guest tonight is Dr. Pavel Otavrel from Reprofit Clinic, which is located in the Czech Republic as well. Hello, Dr. Pavel. How are you feeling
Hello?
today?
Yes, I feel good in this strange time
Yes, thank you so much for
regarding
joining.
COVID era. Yeah, it's
Exactly. Definitely strange times,
everything is
but
changing. Yeah.
at least we can be here, and we can at least just share your expertise as well. You are able to share your expertise with the patient. So happy to have you here. And first, we will start with a short introduction from Dr. Pavel, and then we will go for the most common questions. And after that, it will be your time to ask your questions. So you know what to do. You just need to type in all the questions in the chat section so that Dr. Pavel can actually answer them one by one for you. And well, it's time to go ahead with the introduction. Dr. Pavel, are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready. So,
Perfect.
good evening, everybody. So let me introduce briefly our clinic. So we are clinic located in Czech Republic, in a city called Brno, approximately 200 kilometers from capital Prague, and the clinic was established in 2006. And last year, 2019, we performed approximately 900 cycles, treatments of egg donation. My position here is a head physician of IVF department. So in the next few slides, I would like to describe you the idea and the basis of egg donation treatment. Just briefly. So let's go directly to the point. For whom should we offer this kind of treatment? For sure, the most important and the biggest group of patients are patients with exhausted ovaries, simply aged 40 plus age group, simply. Uh, because the age is it is what is it about? Yeah, so the age of egg, age of oocyte, it is the highest generally in the IVF field. The age of oocytes is the highest playing card we are playing with. Yeah, so now I'm not talking about the personal journey to accept egg donation. I'm not talking about the psychological circumstances, about the traveling. I'm talking only about the success rate. How high is the chance to be pregnant? So in the question is, the best pregnancy rate is by using donated eggs. So it is Y-aged women. The special cases are a patient with premature ovarian failure. It means younger ladies with 2 yearly failed ovaries, special group of chemotherapy patients, special group of patients with surgical removal of ovaries from many different reasons, and subgroup of a patient born without ovaries. The most common syndrome is Turner's syndrome. Some just a marginal note: the patient born without ovaries are afraid that they have no own source of estrogen, and they are afraid that without own estrogen their chances will be low. But surprisingly, their chances are extremely high, because to prepare womb to accept embryo is quite routine, and if there are no own estrogen, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, and surprisingly, the Turner's syndrome patient's outcome is really good. Endometriosis. It is a terrible disease, and the endometriosis negatively affects the egg and consecutively embryo quality. So endometriosis could be a reason for egg donation. And patient with repeated IVF failure, of course, the big group, the patient after unexplained repeated failure, looking for what to do next, and egg donation could be an option. I told you previously, the age of oocyte, it is most important issue. The spermatozoa are created again and again every 3 months, but oocytes are done before birth. They are as old as woman is. And you can simply imagine the egg as a battery, and its energetic supply inside must be the load must be strong enough, because all energy in embryo is originated from egg. The spermatozoa is totally exhausted after penetrating egg. So all energy in embryo that is needed for implantation is originated from egg. And if the egg is energetically strong enough, it is a good start for implantation. And you can also imagine the old egg as a battery forgotten in garage for 40 years. There is some energetical supply, but it's only for a few seconds, not for 5 days. We need to wait until implantation. And the idea of egg donation is simple. We can substitute old battery by young battery, and it doesn't matter the age of recipient, doesn't matter, because the treatment we will use a young egg. And also because the egg is under the negative influence of a lot of pollution and negative impacts from from our environment. So there is a higher risk of genetic disorder in older egg than in younger. Yeah. So for instance, the risk of a typical disease called the Down syndrome in a 25 years old donor, the risk that the egg will carry Down syndrome is approximately 1 to 100. In a 35 years old lady, it's one. It's one in young woman. In young woman, it's 1 to 3,000. 1 to 3,000. In 35 years old lady, it's 1 to 300. Yeah, within 10 years, yeah, it's completely new situation. Okay, so it is why we should offer this treatment for indicated cases. In Czech Republic, the law is done now. It's changing. But for now, the egg donation treatment must be changed. Must be performed on mutual anonymity. The medical records under code must be preserved for 30 years. The age of donor by law is between 18 and 35 years, but most of the clinics, including us, we have a upper threshold, the cutoff, 32 years of age of donor. The maximal age of the female recipient is 49, means 49th birthday, and we are allowed to treat heterosexual couples only. Yeah, so not necessary to be married, but we need the signature of male partner and female partner. I will maybe talking about it later, but we prefer fresh egg treatment from a few reasons. I will mention them later. And for this reason, we have to synchronize the cycles of donor and of the recipient. And for this reason, we mostly use birth control pills or hormonal pills to trigger menstruation of both ladies plus minus at the same days. Yeah, so it is a crucial moment which allows us to use fresh oocytes for the treatment. For this synchronization, there is necessary to have a time to recruit, to find a good donor, and to synchronize the cycles. And this time, there is no waiting time for egg donation treatment, but the time to synchronize, to match a donor, to find a donor according to your request, to prepare the menstruations, and to prepare endometrium, and so you can count with approximately 3 months from the decision making until the pregnancy test. Yeah, so this is the idea, indications for this treatment. It's everything for now from my side, and we can go directly to the most common questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your explanation and providing us the details. And now, yes, it is time for those most common questions. So let me get to it right now. And the first question is, what is a PGT-A PGS diagnostic and what technique is used to test embryos?
Okay, so I tried to describe you that the genetic profile of egg, of oocyte, is the most important issue. Yeah, if the egg is young, the probability that this egg carries some genetic disorder inside is low. It means, for instance, it is a good illustration. Down syndrome. You know everything. What is it about? Down syndrome. 95% of Down syndromes are created from egg, and only 5%, one chromosome more, there is additional one chromosome, only 5% of Down syndromes are created by spermatozoa. So yeah, so PGT-A, it is a genetic testing of embryo to exclude any genetic disorder. How it works in practice. We wait 5 or 6 days of embryo development because we need to have a very good quality embryo, which is quite common in egg donation program. The quality of embryos in this program is good. So we take a few cells from embryo. The embryo on day 5, it's divided in 2 parts. One part, it is a future placenta called trophectoderm, and the second part is a future baby. And we will take a few cells, experienced embryologist person takes a few cells from the trophectoderm. The embryo is frozen. The embryo will stay in the house, frozen, separately. Each embryo carries own code number, and its DNA is sent to the lab. And the DNA is screened, evaluated, and we will receive approximately 3 weeks later the answer. Is the embryo healthy or not? Yeah, so it is how it works in practice. And what we are focused on? PGT-A means aneuploidity. It means pre-implantation genetic testing focused on aneuploidity. Aneuploidity means we are looking for a good number and structure of chromosomes. You know, each healthy human being has 46 chromosomes. If there is 47 chromosomes, for instance, it could be Down syndrome, if talking about the chromosome number 21. And it is the answer. And the patient will receive the list of embryos, embryo number 1, embryo number 2, embryo number 3. And there is written, embryo number 1 carries 46 normal chromosomes. We recommend it to be transferred. Embryo number 2 is it's 47. It's Down syndrome. It's Turner syndrome. There is a mosaic. There is some strange number of chromosomes. We do not recommend to transfer this embryo. PGT-A, to do the PGT-A on embryos from the oocyte donation program, it doesn't make sense generally. Yeah, because the eggs are young, donors are young, and the ratio of embryos with a bad DNA is very low. By our experience and statistics, to use PGT-A doesn't improve your chances in comparison with fresh embryo transfer with non diagnostic embryo. I see our statistics from 2019. We performed almost 1,000 fresh embryo transfers in egg donation, and the implantation rate, it means how many embryos implanted, was 65%. Pregnancy rate 69, and a clinical pregnancy rate 65. Yeah, it is only 37 patients in 2019 decided to wait and to wait to do the PGT-A on embryos and to let transfer genetically tested embryos. So I have to underline that it is not a big statistic, because only 37 patients made such a decision. But the success rates are absolutely the same. 69 of pregnancy rate, 65 of clinical pregnancy rate. Yeah, so there is no comparison, because there is no way how to improve the embryo quality, or to be honest, there should be the improvement estimated, but in practice there is no difference. Yeah, so to do the PGT-A, not recommended, no difference. The different question is PGT-S. Is PGD. Yeah, if the male partner carries any disorder, and we have to exclude this disorder on embryos. So if we are investigating embryo because there is the reason of a male side, yeah, it is a different question. Yeah, so if we know that the patient carries, let's say, male patient carries, let's say, some microdeletion, and we would like to know if the embryo inherited such a disorder from the male partner, of course it makes sense. But to do it with the reason to improve your general chances to be pregnant, it doesn't make sense.
All right, thank you so much for answering that question in so many details. Really interesting, really informative. Thank you so much for that. And now let's go to the next question. In this case, you have mentioned it, of course,
Yeah,
but is it worth investing along with the egg donation?
No. PGT-A, 1 year ago, it was called PGS screening. Is not worth. Yeah, okay. I can imagine the medical indication. It means reason on male side. I can imagine the life situation that the couple would like not to face the this to be pushed to make a decision making in week 12 of pregnancy. If something wrong is detected via ultrasound on fetus, yeah, they would like to do maximum to prevent such a terrible life situation, and they would like to know that embryo is very likely genetically okay before embryo transfer. It's absolutely understandable. Yeah, we can do it. Technically, it's easy. Yeah, but the reason to do it, why to do it, is not to improve the pregnancy rate, but the reason is to prevent any terrible situation in first trimester of pregnancy. Yeah, so normally we do not recommend PGT-A, but we accept the request. of patient, and we perform it. And regarding the costs, the patient have to consider also the money, understandable. And at our clinic, the first embryo tested is for €450, and every other embryo is €350 per embryo. Yeah, so it makes sense. It's in some situation, but not from the medical point of view.
All right, perfect. Again, thank you so much for answering this question, and let's go to the next one. So who chooses the donor? How and what information about the donor do I get?
Okay, so we, after recruitment of donor, because the donors must fulfill the lot of legal requests. They are tested for STD, drug abuses, of course, genetic, gynecologic examination, and genetic counseling, and so we have a list of donor. They are open to donate. And the couple of patients will have to fill the questionnaire, and they can underline what is important for them. It is mostly how tall the donor is, eye color, hair color, education, sometimes hobbies, and blood group. One note regarding the blood group. Blood group, it is not important for the success rate. It is not important. It doesn't matter completely. The blood group AB or 0, null. There is only one social aspect. Yeah, because we prefer the situation that all members of family have the same or similar blood group. It is only the prevention of a situation, let's say in puberty, when the child is older, and the child will realize that the blood group is completely different from mother's or father's group, and they could start to think about it, and it could cause the social problems, relationship problems in the family. Yeah, so there is one interesting statistics published that at the beginning of the treatment, approximately 80% percent of patients prefer to inform child later that the treatment of oocyte or sperm donation was used on the beginning, but the praxis says that in fact only 15% finally will do it. Yeah. So back to questions. The couple filled the questionnaire, and each couple has own coordinator. And coordinator will instruct our donor program coordinator to find a donor from the list of potential donors. And if the couple want or prefer to know something about the donor, we are able to provide the mentioned information about the donor approximately 6 weeks before the egg collection. So there is a plenty time to change a donor, to find a new one in case the couple doesn't accept this matched donor. So we can provide information about education, the general history, how many children, if there is children from her normal life, or if there are children from her previous stimulation, education, how tall, eye color, blood color, eye color. Some, of course, on a special request, we can ask the donor for some specific questions, but it is not common. Yeah, some patients are happy with this information I mentioned before, and so there is a group of patients, they don't want to know anything about the donor because it's a very sensitive issue. But yes, we are able to provide it, and for approval of couple. Yeah, so we can start the stimulation only after the approval of the couple. We are not able to provide photos, yeah, only information.
Okay, thank you so much again for answering this question. Next one, is it better to use fresh or frozen oocytes for fertilization?
Still, we prefer fresh eggs, and I will try to explain why. Because the art of egg freezing, it is the highest knowledge, highest technology in IVF. It is very sensitive issue, and we investigated. We have invested a lot of money last 2 years to find the best methodology and to find the best technique for freezing. And now I can tell you, since 2019, April 2018, we are absolutely happy with frozen eggs. The success rate from frozen eggs are equal to fresh eggs, but it's still, there is a lot of effort behind this, and for us it's still backup strategy to use the frozen eggs, and the first line strategy is fresh eggs, because to be honest, it is still not 100 sure technology. Despite we are happy with this, we are still not absolutely ready to tell our patients, yes, come to us for frozen eggs, because it's absolutely equal to fresh eggs. We are very close to this statement, but not now. So it's about the technology. Fresh is standard, frozen is almost standard, but not now.
Okay, thank you so much again for your recommendation and explanation on this as well. And what medication do I need for the preparation for an egg donation cycle, and where can I get it?
Yeah, it was described in one picture from my slides. Recipient needs birth control pills or hormonal replacement therapy, norethisterone. One package, one box, it's enough to prepare to synchronize the menstruation. It's first. Second, it's so-called down regulation injection, down regulation shot, which is single shot used before the menstruation, and the goal of this injection is to exclude own hormonal activity or estrogen activity, own hormones, because for the endometrium preparation, we need no interference between hormonal replacement therapy and or on hormonal effort on hormonal producement. Yeah. So down regulation shot is used mostly in most of the cycles. And after menstruation, we recommend estradiol, which is estrogen pills. Could be the pills is the first line treatment, but it could be substituted by gel, estrogen gel, or by flusters, yeah, and in combination with progesterone, which is mostly recommended in vaginal administration of progesterone 6 days before the embryo transfer. Yeah, so simple cycle is birth control pills, downregulation shot, estrogen preparation, and progesterone preparation immediately before the implantation. Yeah, so I'm not talking about a patient with a specific history of immunity problems, hematologic problems. Yeah, so this patient have special tailored cycles according to her previous investigation or treatments. Yeah? But the simple treatment is as I described, and it's not my personal business, but each patient has own coordinator, and coordinator is able to provide prescription. In some countries, there are Czech prescriptions acceptable. We can provide the contact to online pharmacy. They are able to prepare the parcel, classical conventional mail parcel with medication. We are some pharmacies in UK are able to accept prescriptions sent via email. So coordinator is able to help, and some GPs or gynecologists are locally in country of recipients are able to cooperate, and they are happy to help and to prescribe it. Depends. Yeah. As I know, I think the most common approach is to send electronic emailed prescription, and patient is open to is ready to pick it up locally in country.
Okay. Fantastic. Thanks so much again for explaining this to us as well. And is it better to transfer 1 or 2 embryos? Very common question for sure.
One or two. We as a doctors have to recommend one embryo because of the safety of pregnancy. Of course, the success rate is a little bit higher in favor of 2 embryo transfer. But the difference is not big. The difference between single and double embryo transfer is approximately 6%. Yeah. So on other side, we can improve. On one side, we can improve the success rate by transferring 2, but the improvement is very small, only few units of few points, yeah, few percent. And on other side, the success rate with 1 is very good, and it's risky to transfer 2 because all complication if we transfer 1 embryo, there is a risk that the embryo could split in 2, but the risk is very low. So twins after single embryo transfer is very rare. It's strange, not common. But if we will transfer 2 embryos, the probability that the the transfer will result in twins is 45%. And the complications connected to multiple pregnancy are at least fourfold higher in comparison with singleton pregnancy. Typically, preterm delivery, preterm birth, hypertension, diabetes, placenta abruption, bleeding from placenta, yeah, all this cerebral palsy of newborn, all this common complication are 4 times higher in twins than in singleton. Yeah, so it's true that the lot of couples has decided for 2 embryos, and the treatment resulted in absolutely beautiful twins. They are perfect, beautiful on photos. Yeah, but but despite this, we have to recommend one because of the safety. There is only one exception. If the patient has a repeated implantation failure with donated egg treatment, in this case, we are more open to transfer more than one because the probability that per fourth attempt it will be again after 3 previous failures, it is not so high. Yeah, but every time it's about the consultation. We have to inform the couple. The couple must be informed about what I'm talking about now, and we accept the decision of donor of recipient couples. Yeah, but summarizing this question, one is our recommendation because of the safety.
Perfect. Again, thank you so much for your explanation and recommendation to this as well. Let's go to the next question. So, how many times should I visit the clinic during the treatment?
The minimum, absolutely minimum, is that the partner, male partner, must be here on day of egg collection, or if there is any reason, he could come before and let the sample freeze. So 1 visit of male partner and 1 visit of female partner on day of embryo transfer. It is absolutely minimum. We can do it. Long distance. We need to lady to undergo the ultrasound, the measurement of endometrium approximately 10 days before the embryo transfer is scheduled. We appreciate to know the ultrasound scan, thyroid gland hormonal levels before the transfer cycle is initiated. It means 1 month before the embryo transfer is scheduled. Yeah, so it could be done long distance in cooperation with local doctors, and the lady could come over here only on day of embryo transfer. But in practice, it works like endometrium measurement 10 days before the embryo transfer is performed in the country where they live. The couple is arriving 1 day before egg collection. They have an appointment with the doctor and coordinator on day of egg collection, finalizing all questions, recommendation to repeat the measurement of endometrium, to make a snapshot of womb via ultrasound, to sign all papers that are needed to be signed. Yeah, and the sperm sample providing of male partner. The couple is staying here for 5-6 days until the embryo transfer. They could come, both of them, on day of embryo transfer, and it's recommendable, mainly from the psychological reasons, to stay overnight, and to fly or drive back day after embryo transfer. It means 7 days of stay here. To stay overnight after the embryo transfer, it's only because of the good feeling of patients. Yeah, so it's absolutely understandable. They are afraid of traveling, but we haven't found any difference between patients flying, driving immediately, or staying overnight in terms of outcomes. Yeah, there is also research, or basic clinical research on this topic, and the lot of researchers haven't found any advantage of laying in bed or staying overnight. But despite this, it's absolutely understandable that to stay 1 day more makes sense from inner purposes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, perfect. Again, thank you so much. And now this is our last question when it comes to those most common ones, and then we will go for your questions. Remember, you can type them all in the chat section, and Dr. Pavel will answer them for you. Okay, and the last question: is it possible to leave the Czech Republic right after the embryo transfer?
Yeah, it is possible to leave. Yeah, yeah. So yes, it is. It is. Yes, it is. Of course, you can imagine the patient have a good flight tickets, and they prefer to have an embryo transfer early morning, and the same day evening they can fly back, because next day the flight tickets were too expensive. Yeah, so there could be a lot of reasons. Yes, so yes, it is possible to go back the same day, and to stay overnight is the most common approach.
Mm-hmm. All right. Perfect. Thank you so much for answering all those questions. Now it is time for your questions. So let me get to it. There are plenty of questions ready. And so let's start with them. Very first question is, can you please ask the doctor how many eggs on average would you expect from each donor?
Yeah, we expect, our expectation is between 8 to 16. 8 to 16. We use a mild stimulation. So we don't use 300 or 200 units for stimulation. It is 100 anything in donors, because we safety the first, of course, and we estimated between 8 and 16. And our guarantee in retrofit provides a guarantee of 2 top quality embryos. So basically, day 5, yeah, it means it must be expanded or hatching blastocyst. Day 5 developed, and basically doesn't matter if we started with 4 embryos or 40 embryos. Yeah. Back to your questions, we are happy with yield of 8 to 16 eggs, and we guarantee at least 2 top quality embryos.
Perfect. Thank you so much for answering that question and for your question as well. And now it is a longer question right here. I have a question regarding transferring PGT-A, PGS embryo in case of disease Hashimoto. How are the chances rate transferring a PGS blastocyst with good quality when the recipient has Hashimoto? What kind of methods do you use to improve the implantation rate and to decrease the miscarriage rate? Are the chances good? And
okay, by my knowledge, there is no gene which is able to be detected for Hashimoto. Yeah, so it doesn't make sense to investigate the embryo to exclude Hashimoto on embryo. In this specific case, a patient with Hashimoto, we have to be focused in cooperation with endocrinologist of patient. We have to be focused on a good treatment, good substitution of thyroid gland function at the time of embryo transfer. Yeah, the status of patient in this case is more important than let to test the embryos.
And
Yeah.
thank you so much again for your advice on that as well. And so, what is the percentage of success for a genetically perfect embryo from an age 27?
I can use our statistics because the average age of donor average is 26. Yeah, so 27, let's say, is a typical donor, and we will do the PGT-A on the embryo of this lady, and we will transfer genetically tested embryo created from 27 years old donor and male partner of recipient. And we transfer one embryo, and we have a pregnancy rate. It means there is a positive test in 2019 was 64.9. Let's say 65% the patient will have a positive test. The clinical pregnancy rate, yeah, it means there is heart beating of the fetus detected on the ultrasound screen. It's 51%. Because despite the embryo is genetically tested, there is a risk of miscarriage. Yeah. So it's absolutely the same answer as I would answer for genetically non-tested embryo. 65 of positive pregnancy test, and 51% of ongoing pregnancy.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much once again for this. Okay, there's another one here. So, also, is ICSI standard treatment or normal IVF for egg donation?
Czech Republic, it's a specific country because of I don't know exactly the reason, but in Czech Republic, almost 98% of cycles are performed by using ICSI. Yeah, ICSI in egg donation program, maybe it is because the donated eggs is something special. Yeah, it's something what some kind of treasure. Yeah, so in egg donation treatment, we are happy for each matured egg, and we would like to have a good fertilization rate. And fertilization rate, how many embryos is from all sites created. Fertilization rate of ICSI is higher than fertilization after conventional IVF. Yeah, so my answer to this question is ICSI is standard.
Perfect. Thank you so much for confirming this for us as well. And there's another question here. So you mentioned disease such as Down syndrome. I thought that in egg donation, the egg anyway is examined as to a such disease, or do I have to explicitly ask for that sort of testing?
I hope I understand Well, so in egg donation treatment, yeah. So Down syndrome. I have to try more to answer more in detail. Um the Down syndrome is not inherited from donor. Yeah, the donor is healthy, male or female. They are not suffering from Down syndrome. The moment of when the Down syndrome originated is the maturation of egg or process of egg development. So it is so-called de novo mutation, and it is not possible to check each egg for Down syndrome. Yeah, a few years ago, there was a program of polar body testing. Uh, I think it is too detailed topic for this session, but we have a technique how to test Down syndrome on egg. But to test egg doesn't make sense, yeah, because it is not information about the embryo. So I'm not sure if I answered correctly to the question. What do
Okay.
you mean?
Well, in such case, I just wanted to remind you that if you wish, and you have anything to add, just go ahead and type it in the chat section. But also, you can simply ask more if you'd like to get more details. You can simply go to the website. I have sent the link right now, and you will be able to simply ask your question, and the team from Reprofit and Dr. Pavel, they will get back to you for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay?
Mhm.
Perfect. And now let's go to the next question that we have. Okay. So I'm presuming single women are not accepted in the Czech Republic. Is this law likely to change in the near future? Any comments on that?
It was likely close to change, but I'm not sure what will happen now when COVID complication appeared. So we were told by a lawyer that maybe in 2 years it could be changed, but I'm not sure now because I think there will be a lot of priorities, and I'm afraid that it will become a marginal topic. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not optimistic on this field.
Okay, thank you for your opinion. I mean, it's very important, but it's true. We might need to wait for such laws
Mhm.
to change.
No, no,
That's
no, don't. My recommendation is don't wait and try to find a different country where it could be allowed.
mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. And okay, there's a follow up right here, and someone has typed more. I mean, it is about the previous question we had. Okay,
Mhm.
the patient asked, so that could be the testing of embryo, and someone has added perhaps that might also help. So I think the question is: are there genetic testing of the embryo included in the donor egg process, or no
Aha.
one has to ask specifically?
No, no, must be paid separately. Must be paid separately. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's it. Mhm.
Okay, I hope that is the answer you were looking for. Let us know. Okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so
And
much.
maybe I can mention, by the way, the possible strategy they could be used because some couples have a wish to uh, to undergo the transfer of the first fresh embryo to be prepared normally, and to undergo standard embryo transfer of the fresh embryo. And the surplus embryos are frozen, of course. And if they are frozen, why not to let them test? Because they are frozen, they will be frozen. Yeah. So it could be a strategy to let transfer the first embryo, and in the meantime, they will receive the information if the embryos frozen are genetically okay, and it is a very important information from the future decision making, and because they will know that the embryos are healthy, they are frozen, and they are embryos with the realistic chances to become a baby. Yeah, so it could be also the strategy to transfer one fresh and the rest to let freeze and test.
Okay, thank you so much for clarifying this for us as well. And there's another question about ERA test. So does an ERA test really make sense, and is an ERA test
Hmm.
possible during the Corona crisis? And do we
It
really
is,
wait
yes.
until the border is?
It's it's partly the scientific question. So for sure, the ERA test makes sense only in patients with repeated implantation failure of the after the embryo transfers of embryos of good potential. Yeah. So at least two unexplained implantation failure, and it is the point. It is the time to start to think about the ERA test. Yeah, so it is for whom. And the second thing is that we are waiting for big studies confirming the ERA test sensitivity and specificity. So ERA test, uh, if the real tests are really uh, good idea, if they could bring the change. Yeah, so because the studies they have been published until now, they are very optimistic, but they were published by investigator, which brings the questions if the ERA test is a miracle or not. Yes. So, and now in this year, 2020, we are as a specialist, we are expecting the studies confirming that ERA test has a scientific basis truly. So if you have repeated failures, being in your shoes, I would do it ERA test in Spain now in Corona time to utilize the time, because my personal experience is that ERA test could make sense, but
Okay.
the data evidence is expected.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. And actually, there are some questions in regards to the ERA test. Okay, so can you have a look at this? So, how long does the ERA result remain valid? Is it for a long time or only the
Yes,
testing
it's a
cycle?
for a time lifelong. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a genetic test, so it is not changed by delivery, by birth, by hormone, by any age. Yeah, uh, it is told that iratis is forever.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. There's a follow-up question again, I mean, about the ERA. So let's have a look. I have done ERA test 1 year ago and it resulted to have the implantation window on the 6th day. Does it make sense to proceed with the transfer on the 6th day now or do it in the standard 5th day? I cannot make another ERA test now because of pandemic.
Yeah, it's the same. IRA test done once previously, it's valid for now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
so so of course we can find in the future any doubt. Maybe there will be any scientific questions, but based on recent knowledge, ERA test done, it's valid.
Okay. Thank you so much for this. And well, there are some questions, very similar ones. Okay, so let me show you a few of them because they are about the opening borders, etc. We
Mhm.
received also a question in French, but this is the translation just in case. Do you know the border of the Czech Republic will
Understand.
open and that oocyte donation will be possible this summer? And again, there's can we travel now for the medical treatment
Mhm,
as
mhm,
well?
mhm. Okay, so we decided to open in a few waves. Now we are completely open for the patient, Czech residents, Czech patient or patient living here in Czech Republic. It's the first wave. The second wave will be very probably in May. It will be patients from Hungary, from Slovakia, maybe Austria. And we are able to provide the certificate that they are undergoing the serious treatment. And this treatment must not be interrupted. And based on a few cases, it works. Yeah, the patients are absolutely it's absolutely easy to cross the borders with this certificate. So hopefully it will work. And we are open to start full program for all the patients that are able to come over here starting from June. For June, we can provide a certificate. They can help to cross Czech borders, but we are not able to estimate how it will be after return back home, if there will be some quarantine needed or not. Yeah. You can wait for information on our websites. Probably end of May. On end of May, we will publish the instruction for patient they are considering to travel over here, and we would be very happy to start with the program in June, July. But now we are optimistic, but nobody is able to predict.
Yes, it's not official yet, for sure.
It's not official.
Okay. There's just simple follow-up. What about patients from Poland? You have mentioned Hungary,
Uh,
Slovakia.
if there will be any special regime for
Mhm.
patient, because the special regime is considered between Czech Republic and Slovakia. Yeah,
Mhm.
special regime is considered. I heard the news today that special regime is considered between Czech Republic and Austria.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh, so if there will be this regime, we can start in May with Poland.
Okay. Thank you so much for confirming that. It's one more. You have already mentioned that, but so do we really have to wait 1 year until the border to your republic is open, or will there be a pass for medical treatment if someone, let's say, is from
Very
other
likely.
country?
Very likely, yeah, that the pass the pass exists. We can send you the confirmation, but you personally have to check in your country, in your officers, or I don't know where, how it works in praxis. We have a patient from German traveling with no problem, from Slovenia traveling, no problem. Hungary traveling to us in April with no problems. Yeah, so using this pass. Yeah, so probably it will be possible, but we are very afraid to open fully, and we would like to start step by step and in a few waves.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you so much again for this. And now let me go to the next question. We will change the topic a bit, okay? So the technique rentability of the IUI reached 80% after 3-4 attempts. Why? Could you advise on that?
Technique rentability of IUI reach. I'm not sure I understand.
Okay, it's perfectly okay. I mean, if you could just perhaps, add something to that so we can answer your question, okay?
Mhm.
In the meantime, of course, we will go to the next question. If I see a follow-up, then of course we
Mhm,
will
mhm,
go back
mhm.
to this one. No problem. Okay, and there's another question about mosaic embers. Do you recommend to transfer those?
Yes, I do. I do. I do. The PGT-A and its results, it's a big, huge, and sensitive issue. We have no space to discuss about it more in detail. And for many, many reasons, I'm open to transfer mosaic embryos. Yeah, because it could result in a healthy child. Yeah, every time after detailed consultation, in ideal case with genetic specialist explaining plus and minus. Yeah, and but yeah, generally yes, I do, we do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you so much again for that. And there's a question. You have already mentioned this, but perhaps you can comment. So, what do you recommend with donor eggs? I mean, how many embryos to transfer
Yeah,
if
yeah,
someone is 4 to 6?
we would consider for sure. Yeah, but we have to consider the previous attempts. If we are talking about the very first embryo transfer with donated eggs, we are more trying to uh, lead the patient to make a decision for one. Yeah, but if the patient insists on two and she is open, or the couple is open to undergo the risk of pregnancy complication, why not?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you
There
again.
is no legal limit. Yeah, there is no
Okay.
legal limit. There is no legal limit, and even there is no recommendation of our association, yes, of specialists, yeah, in Czech Republic. Yeah, so it's only about the discussion between physician and couple.
Okay. Thank you so much again. Perfect for explaining that. You have mentioned some in your presentation about success rates, but what are your success rates for live
Mhm,
births?
mhm. Okay, so success rates. We have a success rate from 2018. Yeah, because there is a delay in data collection. So I have to change my DBase. In the meantime, we can answer the different questions, and could we back to this question again?
Yes, we can do that.
Mhm.
No problem. For
Okay,
sure.
because it will take time
Mm-hmm.
to find the data on my other screen. Mhm.
Okay, that's no problem. We can do that. And so now let's go to the next question. Can you tell us how much does a donor fresh transfer cost at your clinic, including the PGT-A?
Mhm. Including the basic price is 5,300 euro, and the PGT-A, it is an extra payment, 450 per first embryo and 350 euro per other embryos, each embryo.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And let me go to the next question. It's about prices actually. Do you have packages with price difference depending on the age of the woman donor? What is the most expensive package?
No, we have no stratification between the programs. Yeah, so it's the same price for all, and the difference is caused only by numbers of frozen embryos. If there is a, let's say, 6 frozen embryos, it is little bit expensive that in case only 1 embryo is frozen. Yeah, but the basic package is for all.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thanks so much.
And now I can provide the
All right.
information about the take home take home baby rate. Yeah. So it's data from 2018, and we have a take-home baby rate of fresh embryo transfer. It's 47.6. 47.6 is a fresh embryo transfer take-home baby rate, and the frozen embryo transfer take-home baby rate is 27.7. Yeah, so it's lower with frozen embryo transfer. Yeah,
Yes.
47 fresh, 27 frozen. Again, it's a big issue to explain it. Yeah, but you can see it is non-tested and genetically non-tested embryos. You know, I have to underline. Yeah, so it's simply frozen embryos after fresh embryo transfer, surplus embryos.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And there's another question on the success rates. So if success rates are the same for fresh frozen versus frozen PGT-A tested transfer with donor eggs, why not choose PGT-A for convenience and not having to synchronize? Also, what percentage of donor egg members tested are euploidy or mosaic?
Okay, so there is approximately 25% of aneuploid. The question is euploid. Yeah, mosaics, they are only sometimes. Yeah, it's cases. Aneuploidity, better result is 25. Good result, euploidity is 75. Yeah, and it makes sense. There is a possibility to avoid synchronization and to wait for the frozen embryo, which is even genetically tested. There is the question of false positivity of PGT-A. Yeah. So, but I'm again afraid that it is too much for this session, because it is more than enough for session focused only on PGT-A. Yeah. So if I was on the place of patient, knowing what I know now, I would prefer fresh embryo transfer without genetic testing. Yeah, because I would be afraid that a good embryo will be discarded because the PGT-A result will come positively, false positive. Yeah, so it's very sensitive and big topic. Yeah, so it was my personal point of view, but talking only about the statistics, because the question is focused on the statistics. Why not to use the same statistic result and to avoid synchronization? Yes, why not?
Okay, thank you for your explanation to this as well. Thanks a lot. Also for the question, for sure. There's another one about success rates. Okay, so 65% rate with donor X is low. I mean, if the donor woman is a young one, 18, 24-year-old, why only 65%?
It's a statistics. There is no question, no answer. It's
Okay.
our statistics.
Thank you again for that. And there's another one about blood groups, etc. You have mentioned this so far already as well, but if you could take a look. I am B negative, my
No.
husband is B positive. Must the donor have
No,
the same blood?
donor could be B positive, yeah, because it doesn't make sense to try to find a donor of B negative, because at least 50 there is a probability at least 50% that the baby will inherit B positivity from your husband. Yeah, so it is wasting of time and effort to try to find the B negative. Yeah, so no, you can have a donor of both RH factors, RH positive or RH negative. All of them fit for you.
Okay, thank you so much. It's actually another question about the donor, and so if you could tell us if you have any mixed race donors, for example.
Because the Czech Republic is located in the typical Central Europe, and we have a socialistic history. We have not enough donors of a different skin complexity. Yeah, so 99% of our donors are typical Caucasian Central European ladies you can find in the streets of Czech towns. Yeah, so we are not able to provide a different skin. Only sometimes, but it is very, very atypical cases.
Of course. Thank you so much again for that. And there's a longer question. Let me show you right here. Okay. So I'm 38, my husband is 59. Suppose I go for egg donation. We know that my husband has got severe azoospermia. My question, can you easily tell if the genetic damage to the egg comes from the man or not from the donor woman? And what stage can you see? Is it true that the 3 days up the formation of the morula, if something goes wrong, is it rather the quality of the oocyte to be blamed for? And later than 3 days, is it the sperm that can have a negative impact?
Yes, something is on it. Yeah, it's typical observation that the first 3 days of embryo development depends on eggs, and the day 4, 5, and 6 depends on sperm. Yeah, because the processes in embryo development are changing in day 3, 4. In a stage of morula creation, and if there is something wrong, day 4, 6, 4, 5, 6, and it is probably because of the sperm. But be careful, if it happens only once, it could be only bad luck. Yeah, not possible to make a final diagnosis, to make a final decision after one observation. It must be repeated, and if we would like to distinguish if the problem is more likely in sperm, we in such a cases we recommend to split the yield of eggs, and one half of egg is cultivated with donated sperm, and the second half with husband sperm. And we will see, we can compare the development, and if there is a typical bad development, only one branch of development of husband sperm, it could be a confirmation that the problem is really in on spare male side. Yeah, but before this double cultivation, we have to talk about it. Yeah, so yes, it could be a test.
Okay, thank you so much for this explanation as well. We will be slowly finishing. As most of you know, we do have another event today. So, but let's go with some of the questions we have. Okay, and we will see how it goes. After how many failures do you recommend egg donation? I am 38. My partner's sperm is good, AMH 1.07, and so far we had 2 failures.
So maybe it is not about attempts, it's about your attitude and age. We have a good experience, long lasting experience, that it makes sense to support ladies to fight, to struggle with own eggs until 42, 43 years of age. Yeah, 1.07, it's still promising, and we have a very good experience with the mild or soft protocols in such a group of patients. And because the huge breakdown is between 43 and 44. After 43, or let's say in group category 44 plus, only sometimes we are able to achieve the pregnancy. I can tell you from 108, I think 108 patients have undergone the treatment 2016 and 19 in the age category 44 plus. 2 years, 108 patient, group category, each age category 44 plus. Two babies from 108 ladies. Yeah, it's very low success rate, but in age group 40 to 43, it's 25, 22% of success rate of take home baby rate. Yeah, so it is a good group. Yeah, so my personal feeling is that it is mostly about the age and about the personal attitude and strength to try it again.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for that. And actually, there's a question that has been repeating. So let me show you. So is surrogacy allowed in the Czech Republic?
Yes, it is allowed because it is mentioned in legislature, but there must be a strong reason. Yeah, let's say patient without womb, patient with serious diseases, and only very rarely we are open to do surrogacy only because of the repeated failures. Yeah, so it must be considered case to case. Yeah, but generally I can answer yes, it is.
Thank you so much for confirming this. And as I mentioned, we definitely will need to finish very soon. And any unanswered question that we have, because we have plenty of, left, so those we will simply forward to Dr. Pavel and his team, and they will get back to you. Okay? I hope that is okay. This is how we just need to do it. However, let's have a look at the next question about medication, actually. Suppose I start a donor egg program with your clinic. Where do I get the medication from, considering that I am foreigner and only for a short time there? Can your clinic arrange for the medication also, of course, against costs? And there's a follow-up. I am asking because returning back to my country with only a foreign medical receipt can cause me problems buying specific medication, and the patient is from Switzerland.
Uh, we have a coordinator focused on Switzerland. So, but I haven't found any really serious problems. Yeah. So I can answer generally. Yes. So I think it depends canton to canton, and but maybe this question will be answered by our French-speaking coordinator specialized for Switzerland. I'm not sure.
It's okay,
But
of course.
for sure we can solve it. Yeah, because
Yeah.
there is there is no problem. Or we have a cooperating agency in Switzerland, and they are absolutely able to inform you about the differences in costs. Yeah, I know that some Switzerland patients rather go to France to buy the medication. Yeah, so I think there is a lot of possible solution case to case.
Okay. Thank you so much for confirming that. And there's another question. How successful is egg donation for women with who have PCOS? Just wondered if this disorder has an impact on success.
In this case, it's absolutely necessary to use a down regulation injections, yeah, so to exclude your hormonal levels to achieve a good outcome, and there is no difference. It is not special group, yeah. But the patient with PCOS are not candidates, very often candidates of egg donation program. I can remember only a few ones, because PCOS is recommended to be solved a different way. Yeah. But back to your question again. No, there is no negative effect on PCOS on egg donation treatment outcome.
Okay. Thank you so much again for that. And there are again two questions quite similar. So, according to the International Committee for Monitoring Assisted Reproductive Technologies report, the risk of preeclampsia increases in embryo transfer from oocyte donation cycle. And why?
I have no explanation.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
don't know. I know about it. Yeah, it is the similar birth weight of newborns after frozen embryo transfer. They are bigger than from fresh. Nobody knows why. Could be epigenetic. Could be I can guess. It could be something about the epigenetic. And epigenetic, it means that the body of mother is able to partly affect the genetic profile of a baby, despite it's different. Yeah, because the body of mother of recipient is not able to change the genetic profile of embryo. It's done. It's done. It's genetics. Yeah, but the body of mother is able to trigger or to stop some genes to show which gene could be used and which couldn't. Yeah. So maybe if I will be thinking about the answer, I would like to think about the epigenetic.
Okay, thank you so much again for that. And well, this will be our last question for today. We have more, but as I mentioned, we definitely need to be
Yeah,
finishing.
yeah.
However,
Aspirin. There is a
okay.
very good, very well developed screening test for preeclampsia in
Mm-hmm.
first trimester, and the recommendation of for the group of higher risk is a low dose aspirin until the third trimester.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so and I'm just checking the time, but let's go for the very last question. Okay, Dr. Pavel, hope that's fine. And well, there's a repeated question on the courier service for frozen embryos from Spain to the Czech Republic. Can you assist with arranging the transport, and when will the
Yes.
transport be
Yeah,
possible?
yeah, yes. We have, and not. It is not ours in our company, but there in Czech Republic there are company which has a accreditation of the Ministry of Health, and but now in the COVID times, they are allowed to travel through Europe, but the courier must go back to quarantine after return to Czech Republic. So the my answer is yes, we can provide the contact to this courier, but the waiting time for the transportation of embryos from Spain to reprofit should be longer than usually because they have to schedule their trips more complicated. To arrange their trips is more complicated than usually.
Okay. Thank you so much for this. Okay. And as I mentioned, we do need to finish, okay, for today. However, all the questions I see and they weren't answered, I will definitely send it to the team so they will get back to you as well as Dr. Pavel. So I'm sure it will be well taken care of. Well, Dr. Pavel, thank you so much for all the details, for so much information, very useful for sure. And thank you to all of you for joining us tonight and for so many questions, interesting questions, definitely. So I just wanted to also show you that there are patients that definitely think it was good
Yeah,
and
thank you. Have a
informative.
nice evening. It was
Perfect.
my pleasure. It was my pleasure.
Happy to hear that. So as you can see, there are more of those. I just want you to see them all because it's very nice if you can take a look. That many patients are very happy with how it went. Okay,
Me
and
too.
there's another one. So just want you to see. Okay, for epigenetic webinar, there's a recommendation that perhaps we could do such a webinar as well. Well, we don't know yet, but you never know, really. So, thank you again. Thank you so much, and please stay tuned. We are starting our event as well on 8 p.m. UK time. So very shortly, we will tackle another topic. We will go to Spain this time. So I hope you can stay tuned and remember that this has been recorded, so you will have a chance to still watch it and just if you wish to be get in touch with Dr. Pavel and his team, it's again possible. All you need to do is just click on ask me a question and that will be it. Perfect. Thank you so much and have a lovely evening, all of you. Bye.
Bye.